Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night, breaking the cycle. Just waiting on Doc, I guess. Is that right, CBN? All right, so tonight is our first show. Really excited to share with you guys and for you guys to, I guess, formally meet the doctor. And let's see what we got. And obviously just started, so I'm waiting for everyone to come on in. We're going to be talking about self-improvement and some of the excuses that we make, and what happens if we don't deal with them. So this is going to be a great show. All righty. Hey, Black David. Let's see. Okay, gotcha. Well, if you want to roll the intro or do another timer, whatever you want to do. Let's see. How's it going? I can't hear you. You might just not have it connected. You're good. Hey, Mo's Gaming. Mo's in the chat. No problem at all.
All right. How about now?
Yep, you are good to go.
All right. Good.
How are
Good to
you?
see you. What's up?
Good to see you. All right. I am excited for tonight. And hey, DLC, good to see you. He's in the chat. Okay, so tell me, it's Nakumbi, right?
Yes,
Okay,
Nakumbi.
that was good. Okay, I wasn't confident, but I thought I had it. But okay, I had it. Okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. So I guess the channel knows me pretty well,
Yep.
but you introduce yourself.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Uh, First of all, thank you to all of our viewers for the first time. Coach K and I are getting together to have this moment with you and have these. Actually, I think our topic is going to be just as sensitive, powerful, vulnerable, and insightful. Probably more so insightful, if anything. I've been on a few of the shows, and luckily, the Black Man Unfiltered has allowed us to have this space. And I've been with the Real Precious and on a couple of her shows, the Adoption Show, and then, and please forgive me. Oh, Sir Hale Have had an opportunity to be on his show. And there's a small community, and I'm forgetting a lot of the names, so I have to get those names. But
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, those are
a
good
few of
ones.
the ladies that I've had a chance to be on the show with. I'm doing the Nakambi, and uh, what do you want to know? What should the people know about me? Let's see.
Well, I guess we'll if you want, we can jump right into it because we're gonna be covering a lot
Yep,
tonight.
yep, yep.
But I guess do you want to what you're willing to share? Obviously,
Hmm.
where what part of the states you're in. I don't know what you're into because
Yeah,
the profession is. We're gonna get into the profession stuff.
right,
That's for
right.
sure.
Okay. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Where are you located?
I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. Actually, not too. So, did you guys have any snow lately? We've had a couple of snowfalls.
It's gotten really cold because it was
Yeah.
warm last week.
Okay.
No snow, but, it's really cold again all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well,
I
we're
bet you get a
used to
lot
it
of
here. We
snow.
get, yeah, we do. We get a lot of snow. In fact, we had like a couple of feet uh, a few weeks ago melted, and then now we have some more tonight.
Oh
But
my
yeah, I'm in
gosh.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, and uh, we I've had the opportunity of going to live in Dallas before, Arizona, Minnesota. I'm originally from New York, so born and raised until age 13, and family came over to Minnesota. So I've been here since 13 to 18.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was gone to Dallas for a couple of years, and then in Arizona for about 3 or 4 years, and then I was going back east. My friends and family said, "Oh, you have to stop in Minnesota. You know how you are. You're a workaholic."
Yeah.
Well, I think in Dallas I said I'm going to be here for a little while, but that turned into 2 years. And then Arizona I said, "Oh, I'll be here just a little while," but that was so.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then I said I'll be back in Minnesota just for a little while. That was in '97.
You've been there for quite a while now.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been here for a minute, and someday I do
Wow.
plan to go back east. That's actually the
Really?
goal. One day, home. Yeah, that's home. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll
You
see.
said New York? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Where in New York?
Harlem, New York. Actually,
Okay.
Bronx first, and then Harlem. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
hmm
That's probably, at least weather-wise, a little bit of everything
Yeah.
because
We
Texas
had
is so
four
that's hot.
seasons. Yes, yes. I actually remember four specific seasons. Minnesota, I only count two, three.
Right.
Short spring, summer, and I ride a motorcycle, so my summers are short. But
Yeah. How hot does it get there?
last year, we actually had, if I'm not mistaken, we had a 101-degree day or
Oh,
something like that. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, we can get hot, but it's humid here,
yes, that's
so we get
how.
sweaty. We get sweaty. That's because in Arizona it was dry heat.
Right. That's the big difference,
Yeah,
right?
I was melting like a snow cone, but it was dry heat
Ugh.
back in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm that's how Ohio is too. It's the humidity, and I know DL will know, but he's in Florida now. That's way too hot. But I feel
yeah.
like you probably just have to get used to it. Um, but all right, what do you say we jump right in?
hmm I know we were looking at talking about therapy, counseling, and coaching, or a variation
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
And even the title of the show, we talk about breaking that cycle, breaking the, I want to call it silence too, because there are a lot of people who don't address mental health issues, um, and some people who are actually silenced from doing so. Yeah, family members who say, "Yeah, we're not doing that. You're not taking medications. There's nothing wrong with you," or the opposite, over therapize. Group and therapy, and then
Oh yeah.
coaching hit the storm. What did you say? 20 years ago, 30? How long?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Well, I got
Well,
certified in 2007, almost in 2003,
you're
2007.
still really, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm,
fairly new, but I feel like it's not as new it
mhm.
like Tony Robbins obviously and
Right.
those people. So I would say you're one of like the earlier, I guess,
Yep,
coaches.
2007. International Coaching Academy, ICA, and then I was a youth and parent coach. And
Mhm.
they had business, relationship, and different types of coaching. But when you think of Tony Robbins, I think of like these, walk on hot coals
Yeah,
and
like a retreat.
yeah, make $1 million in a year. And I think a lot of people who are not as, we're not talking about out there, but and anyone could do
Mhm.
it. But when I think about people who really should address issues, they're not thinking, you know, Oprah and, and Robbins and all these big people. And I don't even think they
Right.
even think of coaches other than sport coaches being,
Right.
being a service, coaching, being a service. Hmm.
That's right, and I hope that changes.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I've had plenty of people ask me what is a life coach, and I'm sure you'll get different definitions from a lot of people. But of course, I'm going to give them mine. But it also depends on what niche you're working with, and because there's weight loss coaches, there's executive coaches,
Hmm.
which is really cool stuff. But like basically, there have been plenty of coaches that have made quite a nice living, and their niche is very particular,
Hmm.
from weight loss for doctors, or there's
Right.
actually one that I've heard of for like knitters, like weight loss for like a knitting group.
Really.
And who would have thought that like they and she was very successful.
Yeah.
It's really cool stuff, but yeah, I would say, the majority of people don't. Well, I didn't even know what it was,
Right.
until I don't know, 4 years ago maybe.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
For a second in the industry, I actually thought it got oversaturated. I thought a coach for everything, coach on how to go to the bathroom, a coach for this, a coach
Right,
for that.
right,
There was a coach for
right.
everything. Yes, the most
I know.
significant ones though, and I think this is where people greatly benefit not knowing, because you hear of dating coaches and relationship coaches. How to prepare yourself. Do you remember that movie Hitch? Did you remember Hitch
Yep, yep.
with Will Smith? And then he
Yeah.
was a dating coach, but his thing was, to really behind the scenes, like he helps the people prepare, get their lives
Mhm.
together, put them in unique situations so things work out.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I think of relationship coaching now, though, it's really about how do you deal with even the relationship with yourself,
Right.
let alone other people. And to me, that's a key point that people are always wanting to do for others. Take care of family, take care of friends, take care of my significant other. Do, and they forget about themselves. I mean, look at social media. How many likes I get? I want this. I want that. And if I get those things, then I feel I have the approval or I'm legit to take all that just to do for someone else. If that makes sense.
100%. And it's interesting because I would say most people don't even know that they're doing this, and they don't know that it's actually within their control.
Hmm.
Not to jump forward, of course, but there's just so many things that I see, especially in relationships, but really every aspect of life, and that's why I think it's so. I love working with young people because it's like,
Hmm.
let's help them ahead of time before
Right.
they get out into the real world
Right.
and possibly pick up maybe bad habits, make bad decisions that are going to affect them for the rest of their lives, all
Hmm.
types of
Hmm.
things.
Right.
But obviously there is a difference, but I
Hmm.
love that coaching has filled a gap that was there, you
Yeah.
know?
Now here's a challenge, and this is actually going to cover now more therapy, because coaching is all about the present and the moving forward.
Correct.
In fact,
Yes.
I call it the what now? Now, I mean, now what? Now what do
Mm.
we do? Because people who
Yeah.
are like adolescent treatment programs, and I work with, and let me pause, maybe as you were asking, let me give you a little bit more background. So
Yeah.
I am a certified, I have to run them through my head. I am a certified life recovery coach, relationship, parenting, youth, certified forensic counselor. And don't let all these titles fool you. I've just been jumping a lot of hoops. But and then I'm a licensed through the state of Minnesota drug and alcohol counselor, and then I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. Okay. So on one side, I'm doing mental health and
Right.
behavioral health. And then in the coaching world, I mean, I tap into these things. But let's say someone was in substance abuse treatment. And when they get out of treatment, they can go to aftercare or maintenance. But that question of now what and what is the plan, and then how do you create the plan and how do you execute the plan? I think they need a cheer. People need cheerleaders. They need support. Not people telling them what to do per se, but
Right.
helping them. Like a sports coach. When I think about the no one ever taught Jordan. His college coach didn't teach him to dunk, but he helped to say, hey, this is team ball. This is this type of ball. This is when you probably should. And then also giving him that space to do his game.
I'm
So
a
my
Tar
point
Heels
is,
fan, so just
yeah,
saying.
really? Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So so the
Yeah.
youth part, adolescent coaching.
Right.
Now, I'm in a unique position because when I think of mental health, there are two parts of it. I think of the current, but
Right.
I wonder how people got to the current. So I'm an Adlerian, so I graduate of Adlerian program, and so Dr.
What's that?
Freud, Sigmund
Oh.
Freud, and then those guys, and then Adler. So
Mhm.
Dr. Adler looked at a lot of these doctors and professors then and therapists and psychologists. Really, your childhood, how that's impacts you the rest of your life and
Right.
plays a role.
Right.
And now we see it on TV, we see it in the movies, we see it with our neighbors, with our family. Hey, don't teach them our own family members. Stop teaching them he's going to be ruined for life. She's going to be, and they're going to be, and don't. Why would
Right.
you do all that if they're just going to snap out of it, just going to forget it? If they're going to grow and change, why do we even worry about what they're going to learn? So there's a
Right.
big piece that schema therapy, which is newer, Dr. Young, schema therapy. Like if you think of the subway in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
I see Brooklyn's in the house, by the way.
Yeah.
When you
Oh
think about,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you get the subway or a light rail
Mhm.
and A train and B train and stuff like that, and then the lights, the system. Or in the movies where they say a bomb to wire to cut, they're all wired, the yellow one, the white one. So we'll
Yeah.
say that's like the brain, these wires.
Yeah.
And deep in those wires, these thoughts, and schema therapy, there are 18 different ones. So we're talking about, am I faulty? And if I get that thought in my brain as a child and grow like a tree
Right.
with the belief system that I
Right.
am faulty, I'm at fault. I'm bound to get sick. I'm bound to get hurt. I'm is my everything's my fault,
Mm.
or I'm not good enough. And if these thoughts get in and these schemas get in and we grow with that, I'm gonna bet it will impact our adolescence. It will impact how we view adulthood, and it will
Mhm.
impact as we go through life. And guess what? Here's the tricky part. If we're not told, we're none the wiser.
Right.
We're none the wiser. I can't see the tip of my nose. And I've
Right.
got a broad nose. I should
Huh.
tell you, I did stand up comedy too. No, seriously, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I won class clown 1988 North High School. Woo! And I mean, it sounds silly to be
That's
proud of, but I've
uh,
always been a jokester. I'm a comedian, and I don't
no,
do
I love it.
stage stuff anymore, but in my presentations. So even though I'm being funny, there are times I'm funny, but I'm also very serious in the sense that there's so much that we don't know, but we go off the belief that we know. We go through these categories because of this and because of that, and
Mhm.
sometimes we don't know. And I think that's where coaching is so impactful. If you know or you don't know, what are you going to do about it?
Right,
Right?
because you have to do, I mean,
Yes.
something. I mean, you're moving, you're gonna have to move,
Yes.
and tomorrow's gonna come.
Yes. I believe everything is relational, including the relationship with yourself. There's a relationship with money. Quit playing. Quit playing. Don't mess with people's money. Relationship with purses, shoes, video games,
Oh, yeah.
social media,
Oh,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
When you talk about people who stand in line like a night, they spend the night before outside of the
Yeah.
Apple store.
Oh, yeah.
Relationship with the phone, relationship with food. I've got
Oh,
a great
yeah.
relationship. I've got a good relationship with food.
So do I. And I'm very
Yeah,
faithful to
yeah. I have a wonderful relationship. Uh,
That's so
um,
true.
but people work now
Right,
again. We come up with these creative titles: workaholic,
right,
shopaholic. Um,
right. Foodie, maybe.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
You're always eating, but
Mhm.
if we think about it, we justify things. It's easy to justify and not even see it as a problem.
That is a fact.
We don't see it as a problem. I justify it. And so I know the work that I do, assuming if you're working with teens and you're dealing
Mhm.
with some of their parents, and I always joke and say parents parent the kid that they want and not the kid that they have. So you get them here, fix your kids. But oftentimes I have to work with the parents also. I have to. They, but again, they come in like this, like
Right.
this. Here's how they come in.
Yep.
Not me, the kid. Fix the kid. But the impact of what the parent is doing helps to mold the kid. The impact. And don't blame me. And they can make their own choices. And they're almost grown. And they're 15. They
Right.
should know better. If I'm mentally ill, I have a mental illness, and I'm requiring my kid to do most of the care, what does that really teach that kid? How much of their
Right.
childhood am I robbing when they're having to take care of the alcoholic father or mentally ill mother? And those are just generals. Anyone could be either, any gender could play either role. I'm just giving generals.
Right. Right. And then
How
we're
much of their
surprised when they act out maybe or are behaving in a way that may be deemed,
yep, yep.
unhealthy or whatever, but it's like, yeah, but they have this going on at home.
Mm-hmm. What I wanted to do, and we can ask our audience, and if you have some ideas too, wanted to this idea we're having about the before, during, and moving forward. Let's take a like let's chop it up with the real situation. Anyone on the call, any of our listeners have a situation that you wonder about, um,
Yeah.
a crisis, a problem, a concern. Let's see if we can put this to the test of the styles that we have
Yeah, I think that's a
benefits.
great idea. So
Hmm.
everyone in the chat,
Let's see
even if
anyone
you
in the
don't want to
chat.
say it's yours or
Yeah, it doesn't have to
say
be
it's
yours.
someone else, it could be someone else's. I don't even care. But I mean problems are, and if you even want to call it a problem, I think they're fascinating. If I liked math, I would say it's kind of like looking like a math problem,
Hmm.
and maybe I don't know if it would be the equation before or after, but nonetheless, like, just breaking it down and looking at, what we're gonna do with these pieces. Well, more like a puzzle then, I guess. I
Hmm.
don't whatever. But it's really fascinating. But, I want to, while we wait, everyone in the chat, if you want us to talk about a problem you have or someone or even someone or a problem that is comment or whatever, and then we'll
Mhm.
we'll approach it with our
Yes,
ways.
hit those like buttons. Speaking of the folks in the chat, hit like buttons. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Please do not
yes,
forget. Hit the like buttons while we're
yes.
waiting. Also, I was watching the Chris Rock special on
I,
Netflix.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see it?
I haven't watched it yet. I've heard
Oh,
of it. I've heard about it.
yeah.
I've heard
No, I'm
about
not.
it.
Good reviews, not so good. What did you hear? What type of reviews?
Um, I've heard I've heard good reviews
Okay.
for the most part, because you know how
Yeah.
it's interesting that people have their comics like they have their like sports teams almost
Yes.
in a
Yes. Their
way.
favorites and yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I, I liked it. The ending. Oh, the work that I do. So, psychology, mental health, behavior, and then forensics. But so I learn about why people do what they do, decisions, based on thoughts, feelings, and but also
Yeah,
human behavior. And
right.
at the end, without giving it away, I will say if you get a chance to watch it, look at his face at the end. A lot of the comedians they leave a show, serious face, woo, and they feel
Mhm.
good. Uh, but he gets into his dialogue about his situation, and then he ends the show, the look on his face,
Oh.
and and I'm not talking about like being empath where I could feel his feelings and stuff like that.
Right,
That
right.
was not the case, but I could see the hurt in this man's eyes, and we were talking about how sometimes people don't know and they can't see the tip of their nose. But I also want to challenge when other people see it, but they don't say anything. When other people see,
Mm.
you might have a problem, an issue. Maybe it's not a problem, but I see a behavior and they don't say anything. And that's why a lot of times people feel betrayed. You mean you knew all this time and you didn't say anything? Um,
Ooh, that's a good question. And by the way, Sugar Bum, hey Kara, in the chat, she says, "Is he a real doctor?" Do you want to answer that?
all right, Sugar Bum. Yes, I am. That's a good question. Because anyone can get up here and say, yeah.
Right.
Uh, you can Google me, man. Listen, my name's up there. Yeah, Nakumbe. I am a real doctor. Grand Canyon University, hybrid program for half online and half brick and mortar school. You go live, and then you can check my credentials with the state of Minnesota. I'm licensed.
Found
Uh,
Psychology Today.
oh
I
yeah, I'm on
yeah.
Psychology Today, which they verify. They
Yeah,
verify
I
your
was like, "Oh my
certification.
gosh, look at all the different, like, areas he's
Yeah.
worked in." It's so
Now
fascinating.
speaking of that, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of those credentials, I love them all. I love that I have them all, but I have to be
Worked
honest.
for him.
When you have a level, when you believe you are inadequate, and
Mhm.
you have to have more, and you have to have more, and you have to have more and more and more. There's another license. I failed the test. Uh,
Oh,
I failed the test for the marriage and family therapist. So I have all the practice hours. I have everything I need. I just need to take the test. But I failed the test. And then when I was prepping to take it again, I thought, wait, 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 wait. So you're going to have LPCC, LADC, MOUSC, and then MFT. But so
that's
yes,
it's so many.
I'm real, but it's not about boasting. All the stuff that I have. It was, in fact, once I woke up, since we talk about woke culture. Once I woke up and
Right.
realized you're doing too much. You're doing too much, and for what? I can say, oh, because I'm a black man, I have to do one step. Sure, that played a role. Or because to get the certain job, I have to. Sure, that played a role.
Mhm. Mhm.
But really going for the gusto, going for more and more and more and more. In fact,
Right.
the first program that I went to, whew, I'm so glad I didn't go run around. I'm doctor, I'm doctor, I'm doctor. I found out that program was not worth the paper it was written on, And then no
Ooh.
school, no other places would take my credits. So I had to do it uh, all over again. No other
Seriously?
school, no other school take his credits. And so I don't want to bash school. I'm not, well, not even bashing. I don't want to mention any schools, but there are a few psychology schools,
Yeah.
nursing schools, and communication schools that once you
Mhm.
graduate their program, that is it. You cannot take those credits to any other program. It won't count.
How is that even a thing?
As long as you're in that industry. If I had stayed in Arizona and Arizona or
Right.
California, that degree that I had, I would
Yeah.
have been worth platinum. But as far as getting licensed with it in Minnesota, it was worth nothing. So I had to do it again. And that question of, am I a real doctor? It's like, whew, that was ever so important to me. Like I would never have to have had that questioned again. So Grand Canyon, yes, I'm legit. Now most of my stuff you won't see my credentials behind it. The people who helped me change my life, I couldn't tell you if they had an eighth grade education. I never got into their titles, barely knew their names. So
Yeah.
a lot of work that I do, a lot of mentoring or giving back, you won't know if I'm a doctor or a janitor. You wouldn't know. I don't do that.
That is so like just this here is so powerful and important and just all the rest because not only, I'm sure being a young person, I'm not saying you're not young. I'm not saying
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
I'm like
I'm young.
I'm early in my career. But it's just like now it's like the credentials don't mean as much.
Hmm.
Um do you want to answer Sugar Bomb's question real quick?
Hmm. How do you feel about other men calling psychology degrees? What's that basket?
Basket weaving.
Degrees?
Well, I can at least say there is a joke. Well, okay, there's like she brings up a good point and it touches on a lot of different, I guess, narratives on YouTube. At least when I first heard of basket weaving, it's funny because
Hmm.
um in the political realm, I guess, or maybe even philosophical, they would talk about how a lot of the degrees these days, which I would agree with, it's not what it once was, where you could get a degree and be guaranteed a job. So now a lot of people get useless degrees.
Oh. Hmm.
So they say, for example, they call it basket weaving, underwater basket weaving, or like one of them's called lesbian dance theory. Like sometimes they'll
Okay.
call they'll call them those.
Yeah.
But there was a conversation where these guys were talking about mental health and therapy and stuff like that. And I think they did compare it to basket weaving degree. So what would
Yeah.
you say about that?
I- Here's, in my opinion, here's the trick. The title or what it's in is important, but it's really about what makes it a doctorate degree. Mine involved 7 years of research. So the study, so PhD is really about philosophy and research. So a lot of PhDs mean they did a final research project. Where
Yeah.
and then there are excellent positions for like college professors and university professors. That's
Right.
really what a PhD is about. It's about being an educator. And that fits
Right.
right in my wheelhouse because I've been a public speaker since 1988. And so I mean education and public speaking and international speaking, that's my thing.
Right.
So it fits. So yes,
Yeah.
the title of doctor, but you can ask a medical doctor, like, would they consider a PhD person a doctor? Some are like, yeah. And the equal version to that is what they call a PsyD, PSYD, because
Yeah.
theirs
I've
more
seen that.
clinical. Yeah, so they spend time doing a lot of clinical stuff, like the mind and medicine and practicing therapy.
Mhm.
So one is about research, basket weaving. So if you're going to get a degree in that, and we're talking about a doctorate level, but
Yeah.
it's really about understanding the fundamentals of basket weaving, understanding the materials, understanding this, and then spending exhausting hours on the research part of it. That's the part where people get defensive about. You better believe it's a degree because we're talking about interviewing people. We're talking about statistics and
Yeah,
math,
you conducted
gathering.
your own research,
Yes,
right?
on research. So
Oh,
mine was on technology. It was interesting because I should have done more with it. I probably would have been a millionaire by making some apps, whatever. But it was about how
yeah.
research plays, excuse me, technology plays a role in how we think and behave, and how
Oh,
technology
yeah.
can impact those who do treatment and in recovery, because you're going from one addiction to another.
That's a good point.
And so when you study this for 7 years and then stuff about relationship, how does relationships play a role in the
Mhm.
relationship with technology? So, I mean, I don't run around getting defensive if a person thinks I'm a
In the
doctor.
simula, yeah.
I don't worry about that. But the people who are saying, yes, I am a chiropractor, is a doctor, a dentist is a doctor. Oh, they're not a
Right.
real one there. But if you take that craft and you master that craft to the level of education, to the
Like
level
expert,
of
yeah.
research, expert, that's what really makes it about the doctorate level versus the topic. So the one about, did you say lesbian dancing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one
well,
of them
that,
that
that
they
sounds
call
silly,
it.
right? Like, why would that be a degree? A doctor? Who's a doctor of that?
Right,
But if
right,
you
right.
think about what it would take to reach that level of criteria, what
Mhm.
do I need to do? I need to be approved by a board to even do the
Mhm.
research. So the
Right.
boards who listen to say, you want to do a research, you want to do research on what? You have to get approved for that. You just can't go pick anything. So now this
Right.
board, academic board, will say that sounds, but now you need to present why that's what's your argument about it, or what are you going to teach us about it. So then after you get approved by the
Right.
board to do the research, to do the study,
Right.
then you go do it. So it's not just, hey, I want to be a Korean maker and I'm Dr. Korean. Uh, Tell us about that. And then, there are some that sound really, really unuseful. Like, what's the difference between, a doctor of theology, so at the
Y-
church, right? But that's the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
That's the same challenge with a doctor of social work. Once you become a social worker, bachelor's
Mhm.
degree or master's degree, social work can probably get as many jobs as I can get at doctorate level.
That's why I was gonna go do social
Right.
work because I'm like, do I go psych? But then I have to get my PhD or something,
Mhm.
or do I go
Mhm.
social work where I have a complete, array
Right.
of options? So that's a
Right.
great point.
Yeah. Social work and nursing. There are doctorates of nursing. And say,
Mhm.
how useful is that? Like, what is that? Sounds like a big
Right.
student loan bill waiting for like, what do you do? But if
Yeah.
you get management, nurse administration,
Right.
that
Right.
takes you to the roof.
See,
Uh,
that's yeah,
yeah.
I remember asking because my twin is a nurse. So
Mhm.
I was asking her about that, and her and I just had an argument too because of having a PhD, and we were going back and forth about just the different titles or whatever.
Mhm.
But there's another question she asked, or that she said that's not what she asked. I wonder if she's meaning that some men will say that, and I've even heard them call mental health like they're basically acting like it's not even a real thing. At least in terms, you could even like refer to psychology as a whole, but just mental health and just thinking it's a sham type of
All right.
thing.
So let's put it to the test. Sugar Bum or anyone, give us an example. Let's see if we can find the psychology in it, the way people
Mhm.
think, act, and feel. Let's see if we can find the psychology in it, and then how we can coach them through it. So, what's a good example?
For a what do you mean, like a problem that they've said? Or
Yep. To see, let's put the theory to the test, psychology, because there's I talk to people who do witch work. So uh,
oh,
or I get it. I talk
witchcraft?
to people who do chakra work, and people who
Yeah.
do spiritual astrology, sex therapy. So I talk
Yeah,
to people
yeah.
who talk about healing as their version of psychology, and healing like you don't need any of this mind, people messing with your mind, so you don't need medication. You don't. So
Yeah.
there are a ton of ways to manage your mental health. It doesn't have to be this one like, oh, psychology, everything someone's in your head. It's like a DO versus an MD. So medical doctor, I don't even know what the D stands for. I remember the D. So a DO versus MD, they're both the same, but it's like PhD versus PsyD. So there's always an argument of who's better. I've had PsyDs tell me you're not a real doctor because they do the clinical work. Okay, but I do clinical work. But if then there are professors who say, "What are you doing with your PsyD? You're out of your realm." So there's
Isn't
always
that
like,
interesting? I
yeah,
think that, and I think that's actually an interesting topic of why even people do that. Do you want to use that problem?
I
Um,
do, but I want to make sure it match. Not it doesn't have to match, but what our listeners are looking for. Like, I want to see
yeah,
if it's meeting. But if they don't offer something, then we can go.
yeah.
And thank you for
Let's.
the salute. Much appreciate it.
No, I agree. I
Um,
want. Um,
let's what you work with adolescents and adults, right? Or adolescents?
yeah, yeah, and like
You
young
say
adults.
primary-
You say what?
What do you say the primary issues are?
So it's interesting. So with the teens that I've worked with, their parents, will obviously hire me to help them with like their stress or how they're doing in school and managing schoolwork. And these are top-notch students.
Hmm.
And what is interesting is that sometimes what affects their ability to manage their time or to, I guess be motivation, that's a big one,
Hmm.
is usually how they're dealing with, I guess, the social aspects of school. So if there's stuff
Hmm.
going on with the girls, because I mainly coach girls, I'll coach anyone, but that's just how it
Hmm.
turns out to be, which that's another topic. But but anyway, I didn't get out of that. But so how to deal with when people don't like them,
Hmm.
or just how they perceive other people and what they make that mean,
Yeah.
friends. And a lot of it is, you know, girls are can be kind of catty, but then
Hmm.
also too, um, I would say for at least the young adults is really just taking action.
Hmm.
They have goals, but they just haven't been able to achieve them, to do the things that they want to do, but they just can't. They don't know why, and obviously I help them figure that out,
Hmm.
but they just
Hmm.
can't get through to, you know, being on the right track, I guess.
Okay, so let's go with
So
think, act, and feel. Let's go with that. Thinking, acting, and feeling. The psychology of the brain.
right,
Why is it that one part of the country manages beauty, acceptance, and rejection versus a different part of the country? Why California girls may have it different than the New York girls? Why do Florida girls have it different than? Why does one consider themselves a girl and one says to call themselves a girl means only body parts? Why is
right,
it that girls or females or those who identify feel like they have to wear makeup to be accepted, where some say they're by natural beauty? So, why all the differences? Why is one worried about getting together with someone and having the romance humpity hump? I know the word just will keep right. So,
right,
why is one
right,
worried about that where another person can go all the way to 30 and not worry about it? Why is one person connected to the family and more concerned about taking care of their mother and father and even going into their adulthood 26, 30 years old, taking care of their family and they haven't even started their own? But then we have
right,
12, 13, 15-year olds who are all about, hey, I want to have a kid, someone to love me. So why
right,
all the differences? Already, it depends on how you think, act, feel, will determine your behavior. Will determine your behavior. If I have a father in my life and he's doing his duty, and I'm doing more traditional family talk.
for
So
sure,
we have two parents in the home, and the father is working. So again, this is traditional. It may not match everyone's deal,
right,
whatever that father role is to you, as far as male, male, female, female. But I do want to keep it traditional, like mother, father, male, female, to have the balance. Okay,
right,
so you take the male out of the home, he's working abroad, maybe a truck driver, military, he's not home often. And the
right,
child says, Dad, will you stay home? Well, if we go by traditional role of a man was to provide security, maintenance, all these type of things. Okay.
mm-hmm,
If my security is on the road most of the time, doesn't mean I'm afraid, but I have the belief that either I can do without security. So now I'm
mm-hmm,
going to grow really not having a care about what a man can do for me because they never did.
Did. Right.
If original father is no longer there and mom a stepfather comes in, well, one man didn't do, another man did. So now,
Right.
as a person who has a kid, you're going to tell me about taking care of my kids? Why? A father doesn't have to be around. I will do
Right.
that. So what man won't
Right.
do, another man will. Quit playing.
Right.
So back to this daughter. So she has a father figure. Says, "Dad, well, can you stay home for the day?" And he says, "Oh, sweetie, this is the nice version. Oh, sweetie, I have to work." Maybe a young child, 5 years old. That same 5 year old doubled down because we're talking about two parents that work. They doubled down. Mom, can you miss work? Will you miss work for me today? Not the whole day, 1 hour, just 1 hour. And mom says, "Oh." Now, coach, if you were a mom and I'm your 5 year old and I ask you why do you work so much, what would you tell me?
I would say to provide for this
Okay.
little one.
Yeah. And provide what? What do you have to provide?
Is the dad wait, so the dad is where is he?
Oh, Dad's working. He's out the he's in the
Okay.
picture. But he's unavailable. He's unavailable, and he won't take the whole
Um,
day off of work. And I'm asking you, mom, 'cause you work too, and you
yeah.
leave us in a good home. You leave us with good. I'm talking about everything is legit. We're at school or we have good families. So you're not leaving us alone, but you work.
Mhm.
And I'm asking you, why do you work so much, mommy? Why do you work so much? Will you just stay home for 1 hour? Why do you have to work so much? And you said to
Yeah.
provide. Provide.
Provide food, shelter,
Okay.
clothing.
All right. So what if I say the darndest thing at 5 years old and I say, Mom,
Oh, yeah.
I just won't eat. If it means you'll stay home for 1 hour, don't worry about feeding me. I'd rather starve to death than for you to go to work. And when you walk out that door, no matter how nice and sweet you are, oh, or how hardcore you could be, get the hell out of here, move out, talking that crazy, move. But
Right.
what happens in the back of my brain, I get a schema. And people can look this up.
Mhm.
Schema, schema, a schema, psychology schema in the back of my brain that says, oh, wow, dad just abandoned me and mama just abandoned me. So now I have abandonment in my subconscious mind.
Your
And then
lower part, right?
yeah, yeah. And
The
things
lower part of the brain.
we wouldn't even be thinking like the 5 year old's not going, oh, you just abandoned me. The dad's not thinking, I'm going to work, I'm going to abandon you. And mama, you're not saying, I'd rather abandon you. We're not saying those words. We're saying,
Right.
I'm doing a good thing of taking care of you. Hint, hint. I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing a good thing.
Right.
And people think they get confused on what a good thing is. When you're talking to a couple that are in a domestic, they're in an abusive relationship.
Right.
I'm trying to help your dumb ass. You need to listen to me. Okay?
Right.
You think you know all the answers and stuff. You need to shut the fuck up. No, whoa. But that person feels like they're helping. The truth might hurt. It might hurt, but I'm helping. And where did I learn that from? Remember, mom and dad said it very sweet. Oh, I have to go. But
Is
the
the same.
hurt behind it, not
Mhm.
processed. And then my version of helping later, oh, sweetie, get over it. I can seem
Right.
so dismissive. Oh, your toe hurts? Please. I told my mama,
Right.
but again, I'm not going to say it. It doesn't come to mind. I told my mama to starve and she left right out the door. Quit crying. Or you hear adults who say, I grew up in a home, parents divorced, and we survived. Okay, right?
Yes, yes.
So this mom who leaves for work, there's one more part that's heavy because that was my double down. With dad, I just said, okay, thank you. With mom, I said, I'd rather die. So when she left, in the back of my brain was trapped.
Mhm.
I'm not good enough. I just told you I would die and you chose to leave.
Right.
Clearly, I'm a piece of nothing to you.
R right.
I said I would die and you left. You left me for dead.
Right.
Now, that same mom, because we're talking about girls, That same mom who I watch her and dad get into it for whatever, I'm now building what's called hostility towards women. Like I look at my mom, like, remember, she left me for dead. And now I watch how her and my dad, I watch how she's at the store. I watch how, and I'm building hostility. Same thing for a son. He's building
Yeah.
hostility towards women. Mom smacked her toe at 2 in the morning coming to change, my little brother's diaper, cracked her
Right.
toe. Pow! But she's back up at 5, 6 in the morning, taking care of dad, getting his breakfast ready, getting our stuff ready, and you smacked the toe, you should have stayed in bed and told dad, good luck, man, you cook. And so I'm building hostility, even though these are good things.
Right.
And now when I grow up, I'm looking for a nice mother that if I said, a good partner, that if I say
Right.
I'd rather die, they will say, not on my watch, I'm not letting you die. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
But since my brain believes that I will never get it, then if Coach K, I met you and you're like, oh, I'll never leave you and I'll never leave you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll never leave you. For real, love you forever. I'll love you forever. I'll never leave you. Part of me is like, I got the one. And then there's the other part of me that says, oh, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
Yeah, you're subconscious, right?
Yes. So I'll work hard to get you and then spend the rest of the time trying to break you.
Right.
I'll work hard to get you and then spend the rest of the time trying to break you. And part of that breaking is to prove that you really would stay, that you really would die from me. And then that
Right.
inadequacy is never enough. So, coach, would you do this for me? I don't know, and I don't know. Then I do the wear down method. Please, come on, do it, do it. Okay, fine. You know what? And then my boy, my cousin, he's gonna come over. What's that supposed to mean? And please, blah blah blah. And boom, 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 boom. It's never enough. And I am wearing out relationships without even knowing it. I have to get
And
a
then
job
what
every 2 years.
happens?
Right. Boom. I'm back to square one with
See, told you so.
told
Like,
you no one was gonna stay. And then I go to a new relationship or I'm going to rebuild myself. Now here's the challenge with coaching.
mhm.
When I create the goals, if I'm not, what goals am I creating? What goals am I creating with coaching? And coaching, some people believe
Mhm.
if they set the goals for you, if they do this, I say that's
Mhm.
not the most effective coaching. To
Mhm.
coaching, the client really knows what they're going after and what
Yeah.
they need or what they want. They know what the end goal is. They just don't know how to get there.
Right.
And
Right.
so sometimes I think people could, I know there are times coaching could benefit people from learning how to maneuver from relationship to relationship, but I think they only see it as I need to perfect, like I need to fix me. I need to fix me.
Mhm.
Psychology says you won't be fixed because the part of the brain that says if you get fixed, then you will be vulnerable to being left again. If you get fixed, if you don't stay strong, if you don't stay in your defenses, if you don't stay strong, you will be left with someone who will let you die.
Right. So what's the
So
point?
we have a question.
Yeah, and also too, I think that so let's look at that one. And then there was another question too that I think was interesting in the chat. They were talking about earlier about how when people are given answers, they still don't do anything. So if we want to address that one later, but first, let's do this one. Well,
Mhm.
you answer this one.
All right, what's this one? So, why is there stigma towards dads who are barely home? That's a good question because to be honest, depending how back you go, that was actually highly respected. Native Americans here in America would leave their home, kiss their boo goodbye, kiss the kids, leave with their spears, and say, "We'll be back." And they would not come home until they brought home food and supplies. So, buffalo hunting, they would not come home until they caught that buffalo and were able to bring back food and supplies. And it was noble. That was a good thing. And the mother took care of the home. Yep, we're going to take care of the home. We're going to take care of home. And when father comes home with tools, supplies, food, and all that, used to be a very noble thing. As the world moved forward,
Right.
then it was considered you're gone too long. Now there's some men who played a role in that, house doctors who were visiting.
Oh, yeah,
You
well,
know, there. I mean, you know, there were
it's
some people that played a role, not just houses, but people who played into
for
that,
sure.
taking advantage of being gone from home,
For sure.
and right, and allowing the home to just cave and just not be there to do their duty, not do, or they were gone for a long, 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 long time and came back and expected the same level of care or treatment and not acknowledging the partner who was at home. Like, you know, hey, what can I do to support you? How can I help you? So then it became, oh, dads just get to leave. And I'm not talking about the dad that just, oh, you're pregnant, I'm out. Not that. I'm talking
Right.
about fathers that actually try, or
Right.
and they do. They work. They may work abroad again, not at home always. So they get the bad rap because part of it is, wow, it must be nice that you just get to leave. It must be nice that you just get to do that job. No, it's not nice. I'm working. And then we
Right.
went from back in the day when I would bring home entire check and give that to mama. Get here you go, mama. I'm gonna take $20 out of 5,000. Here you boom, here you go. Take
Right.
care of the family, take care of the home. We start getting, you know, trust issues. I don't know. We start getting greedy. We start getting stingy. We start losing focus on what the family was about. Went from, you know, $20 for me to maybe 2,000 for me, and now maybe 4,000 for me, and maybe nothing for you. Just tell me what you need, and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know,
There's just so
I'll
much.
support.
There's so much.
Yeah. Child support played a big game in that. You know, a lot of dads out there actually buying and spending for their kids, and then they go to court, and the court will say that stuff doesn't count. Well, I have receipts. That doesn't count. But then you have different men who are like, oh, okay, well, let me keep my, you know, how much do you make? Wait. She gets to do this. She gets to travel. She gets to do whatever she wants. I can't
Right.
get a passport. I can't go here. I can't go there. I'm talking about the dads who want to be in their kids' life.
Right. Which
But the
they're out there.
system, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the
And I'm
system is designed.
convinced that people think, and I catch myself doing this too, but I'm convinced that people think that it would be better there. They'd be happier if they were a stay-at-home mom. They'd be happier if they went into the office. They'd be happier back and forth, whatever
Mhm,
the opposite is. And it's
mhm.
like sometimes I think about that with, for example, my twin sister. She works at a hospital where I am an entrepreneur. And sometimes it's easy for me to think, oh, it would just be so much easier if my hospital was already built.
Right.
She has just as many issues. And it's funny because she might complain about her boss or her coworkers. Well, I don't have any, but that doesn't
Mhm,
mean
mhm.
that it's all happy hunky dory over here. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
always that perspective that coaches also and therapists, I'm sure, but especially coaching, we provide the
Mhm,
clients is that
mhm,
perspective. What do you think
mhm.
about that?
I totally agree. Uh, yeah, I actually work with coaches. So in the therapy world, I'm a supervisor, licensed supervisor, so I can provide supervision for other therapists. And coaching,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a M. No, I didn't get the MCC. I'm a PCC, professional coach,
See, you
whatever
have
other
so many
certification.
certifications you gotta give
But
in
again, those
licenses.
are just yeah, those are just jumping the hoops. But there's
Okay.
the MCC Master Coaching. But I'm a
Oh,
mentor. I am a mentor for coaches. All right, so I do coach mentoring, and when I remind coaches that um, they sometimes coaches make it look so easy, right? Because you ever have a client where they're two questions into it and they realize they just answered their own question.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, but see, but then people question the practice. They question the profession. Why
Mhm.
should I pay? Why should I go do this? This is stupid. I'm not gonna go pay you to something I could have figured out on my own.
Well, yeah.
But not understanding that the coaching part of that was actually helping you get in position to be to catch that awareness, helping to ask the right questions so you
Right.
can become more. And people don't know that part of it. And I have to
The
remind mentor
right.
coaches. I have to remind coaches to actually ask for their value also. Yeah.
Well,
That's another whole
exactly.
that's another whole story. People, the coaches in the industry, they don't understand the value, or they may, but I say personal. My coach, uh,
Mhm.
Dr. Deb Legge, she taught me personal problems or business problems are personal problems in disguise.
They freaking
Okay.
are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's it. Just like relationship problems in a way, if you jump from relationship to relationship, you're bringing
yes,
your mind with you, so they're gonna show up.
yes,
But go on,
yes.
sorry.
All right. Well, hold on, let me get to it. I saw a couple of these things pop up. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, do, 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 do. All right. Another question, and based on my last question, is it bad for men who are fathers to take up a job that pays highly well but require them to stay at home or stay less at home? I think it depends on the agreement, Coach. If we're in a relationship and we
Mhm.
have the capacity
Right.
to allow me to go for high pay, but what's it going to do to the relationship?
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I also remind parents the kids are from birth to 18. They'll always be your kid. But
Right.
we're like this before the kid. This is you and I in our relationship. Then we have
Right.
kids, and then there's the great divide. And
Right.
we raise the kids. Well, when the kids are grown and gone, we have a great divide. You know what I mean? You know how many elderly
Yeah,
people I
yeah.
work with that they dreamed of what retirement would look like in retirement and retirement. They had kids. Maybe I do it this way. They had kids, and the kids caused,
Mhm.
they raised the kids. When the kids are gone, they're like this. And I always said we were going to go camping. I'm not going camping. Well, I thought we were going to travel. I don't want to. They have to
Right.
rebuild this, but because of natural divide, the kids they've gone apart. So I want to take that
Right.
into consideration. When you say no, do it. And if the money is going to help us and it's good money, go do it. Drive a truck. Go on this assignment. Go do this. Go do that, and bring
Mhm.
back. It's big money. But what does that do to the relationship long term? Maybe I do
Is
that
it
for a
worth
short
it?
term gig, but we get comfortable. It's a good gig, it's good money, and we stay like this. We're still happy, married, in love, but we're really like this. And now it's time for retirement or back to us. And sometimes there's a whole learning curve we have to do again, or a whole reattachment. Not for everyone, but a lot of couples struggle right here because one was gone for an ended period of time and one
Right.
partner felt disconnected, like, oh wow, yeah, like, and I've actually survived without you. I mean, with you, your resources, but the emotional
Right.
connection, the physical connection. Uh,
Right.
anyway,
That's
that's
so
my
true.
opinion.
And sometimes these questions, like, I wanna trip over my words in a way and not answer directly because it just depends, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's something that I think is important for people to know, and I've told people this, and they're like, "Well, why should I pay you if you're not gonna help me, give me answers or with problems?" Just when
Hmm.
I tell people I'm a coach, and it's like, well, first, obviously, it depends. If I'm just talking broadly, I don't know what to say because who's the client? What's their issue? What's
Right.
all the things.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and also, too, just telling them to do something is not addressing what the underlying issue is. We're just fixing symptoms at this point. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
What does CBN say? Then why do women make men who take up these high paying jobs to provide for the family, which makes them stay less at home, the villain?
Oh.
This part, right? I mean, I'm
Hmm.
guessing, or maybe they were expecting this part not to happen, which that's a big issue just in general. Will you speak on that?
Hmm. Well, what's the money for? What
Right,
is the so high pay? High pay for?
right,
I remember living off of 30,000.
right.
But now we need this and we need that. We want this and we want that. What's the high pay for? If the high pay is for a certain lifestyle,
Right. At what
then
expense?
part right at what expense? The relationship, the connection. And you were gone all this time, but you wanted a certain lifestyle, or we got into a certain financial situation.
Mhm.
So
We.
the right, I picture the situation, but not the relationship. I picture the situation, but not the relationship. The partners who one has not so good credit, so they use the other person's credit.
Mm.
They fix the situation, but then when my credit's ruined
Right.
because of your shenanigans,
Right.
how did it impact the relationship? At first, it sounded like a good idea. We could get this car. You could get the car for me, but we could get this car. The
Right.
situation sounds good, but it impacted the relationship later. In the moment, it sounded great. If you believe you're going to support me and help make me feel stronger, or I'm going to support you and help us build a stronger family. In that moment, the stimuli in that moment, it sounds like an awesome idea, but I'm not sure of how it impacts the relationship. And what if you go do that thing we both said as a sacrifice? Oh, what was that movie? And I'm thinking something very old. They were going to offer the wife $1 million to have sex with. Remember the guy? Do you remember that movie?
I'm
Indecent
gonna
Proposal.
I'm gonna tell everyone I have not seen
Oh,
many
all right,
movies.
all
So
right.
you'll know
Yeah,
this about you'll get to learn this about me. It's
yeah.
embarrassing, but at the same time, okay, but go
All
on.
right.
Now I
I
wanna
think it was
see
a
it.
million, which now a million people can make, but Robert Redford. But anyway, it was $1 million. Indecent Proposal. Can I pay you $1 million? I'm married. Talk to your husband about it. And they hemmed and hawed, $1 million. And he was in the financial rut, and they needed to get out of this debt and that debt, and $1 million and $1 million for one night of romance with this other guy. Woo! Huh? Uh, and now that's $1 million. I'm gonna take it a different direction. What about
It's like
all the people who,
OnlyFans.
huh? Yeah, the only
I think
thing.
of it that's where
Yeah,
my morality goes to. But anyway,
yeah.
go on.
But that
It's
too.
not worth it to
Babe,
me,
I
but
don't know
anyway.
these people. Quit tripping. I'm just on video. I'm just doing this, or I am chatting with the person. Relax. I'm not. They're not touching me live. Or can a person date a street worker?
Right.
Well, for the money and for this and for that. And again, I work with people who are healers and who also believe in sex therapy and sex healing and connection. Their thing is all about connection.
Yeah.
So if you have a partner who's saying, yes, I love you, I care about you. Sometimes we get hooked on the pretty face,
Right.
and we get hooked on that, and we don't want to disappoint, we don't want to lose the person. So we accept these terms, but then the impact on the relationship later, jealousy, hurt, guilt, pain. In the moment of the agreement, go work abroad. If we feel good in the moment
Right.
of yes, go ahead, baby, do your OnlyFans thing, and in the moment it sounds good, feels good, not
Right.
knowing the impact of the relationship. I can tell you, I can see you from a distance and be like, damn, quit playing, and then have the nerve to we become partners if some other dude is over there going, damn. Don't be looking at my woman.
Right.
Don't be looking at my
Right.
woman. Wait. So I just did that to you, right? Uh, sounds like I do a million things. I do a million things. Another group of my clientele, another
I
group of my
know. See,
clients.
what I say is the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah. Another group of my clientele are offenders,
Mhm.
sex offenders. And I have clients, and this could really be anybody and any guy who enjoys seeing a woman braless. And it's
Mhm.
crazy. I say it's an American thing because when I go to the Philippines or over in other countries, their
Mhm.
braless like a regular, like it's nothing. No one is going, oh my
Oh,
gosh, nipples.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
a
that's
foreigner goes over
fascinating.
there like, oh. So anyway,
Right,
but
right.
I have these guys who are, oh, I love to like what doesn't matter the size, but you can see the nipples through the shirt or have a
Mhm.
cleavage. But then if she's my woman, well, you need to wear football pads. You need
Right,
or
right.
or or there are some couples who I consider healthy,
Yeah.
stable, confident, where she can continue to like that. And actually, the man actually feels proud, like. And not like she's a trophy piece, but that's my partner. She feels good that way. She
Right,
feels good in that
right,
outfit. She feels good to put the makeup on. She feels good, and I feel good when she feels good. But
right.
then there's a certain turn of events. There's an activity or something that the person wasn't expecting. In other words, she could do that, and then someone approaches her. Let's say another woman approaches her, and a lot of guys joke like, "Who would you rather have your woman leave you for, a man or a woman?" Because less pain with the woman. So now a female approaches, and she doesn't defend or push back the way I hoped or wanted, or I didn't expect my level of jealousy to kick in. I didn't even think I was jealous. I never been jealous, and that stuff kicks in, and now we have a whole new situation on our hands. And I do vilify. I mean, like, you become the enemy because you failed, you disappointed me, you tricked me, you lied, when it
Mm-hmm.
was really.
E- Exactly. Let's see. Mo had a question. Let's see. Let me go back. Okay, thank you. So I have an issue with a woman who led me on. She claimed we were just friends, but we slept with each other a few times. I cut her off. Was I in the right when it came to that?
All right, so let's do a psychology. Let's do a psychology version of it, and then talk about how coaching plays a role also.
Yeah, that'll be
And
a
let's talk
good.
about, yep. Let's talk about this chain that we should break also. This the myths. So I have
Yes.
an issue with the woman who led me on. Well, no one can lead you to anything if you don't want to be led.
Right,
No
right.
one can lead you to anything if you don't want to be led. Okay? So that's a choice. That is a choice.
Right.
That is a choice.
That's yeah,
I have
yeah.
clients who will go to jail if they don't see me. I have court order clients. I no, you have a choice. You might not like.
Well, yeah,
I shouldn't laugh.
that need and want, because some people will say, "Well, I have to go to work." You don't have to go to work technically,
Right. You don't
but
have to.
agree that you want to because you want to pay your bills. You want to pay your bills.
You want
And
that lifestyle, that car, the
yeah,
vehicle, the home. You want that?
see the
I have to,
shift in ownership that that gives you.
yes.
But go on, go on. But
Yes.
yeah,
But then
I agree
again,
with
I
you.
have to, because if I don't, I won't have a roof over my head. So
Oh,
you don't have to have that roof. You don't have to
right.
have that roof over your.
Right. Exactly.
So the lead part, okay, let's roll with it.
Right, right.
You felt influenced,
Right.
and then there was a belief. So the
Right.
leading, there's a belief. What are you being led to? You're believing that there's water on the other side, right?
Mhm.
There's a fountain on the other side. There's something on the other side that I allow myself to be led to. So
Right.
first of all, check that out. What was the lead? Where were you going? Where were
How
you
did you
going?
know?
Yes, a relationship, love making, status. What was it? So you want to check that first because that's a relationship. My relationship and desire for being with this person, being having this status, being able to drink from that water, being able to do this, so that relationship right there, even before her, your relationship with what you believe you were going to be led to. First thing to think about. She claimed we were just friends, but we missed it.
But we slept with each other a few times.
Yeah.
So she
Okay.
claimed we were just friends, but we slept with each other a few times. I cut her off. Was I in the right when it came to
Yeah.
that?
So I'm going to assume that led on meant sex. Again, you can only be led to that if you want. So
Mhm.
clearly your value system or the power of the JJ. I mean, the JJ, that must have been power for you.
Mhm.
And hers, I mean, okay, she's a rock star. She's a whatever. What was so significant about hers? They're all the same once you study anatomy and all other things.
Right,
But
like
what was so important, right? But so
mhm.
we were led to that, and then she said we were just friends. What is the difference? And Coach K, are you? You might have friends who are married, but also have male friends.
Oh,
And you know,
yeah.
and I was part of these debates too. What is the difference between a best male friend and a husband?
I would say, well, I don't even look at male friends like that anyway. Kind of like the conversation we had last week. And by the way,
Hmm.
OG Patrice will definitely get to your question next time, or next, not next time, but after this. But anyway, what was the difference? I would say the romance, as far as, and obviously the sexuality, I guess. I
Hmm.
don't know how else to like
Hmm. So
categorize it, but yeah.
the sexual component.
Yes, for
Do you
sure.
know people can have a that big O word? They can have that big ORG word
Mhm.
just by talking, just by you
I've
being in that
I
company. I mean,
I
just
could
by
I could believe it.
yeah. There's a storm tonight. All my faith, dude. You're my best of friend. We've never been romantic or that way, but we have a
Mhm.
very intimate relationship. I can see
Mm,
that as friendship. And if I was thinking you were leading me to the vajayjay,
right.
oh, you led me on. Now there are people who do that, so I'm not minimizing.
For
Let's say
sure,
she,
for
yeah,
sure.
let's say she really did it. Like you want some, come there you go.
Right, like, they
There you go.
play games
Another
kind
step.
of.
Yeah, yeah, they play games. And so hit it a couple of times and then you broke it off.
Mhm.
Why the break off? Because she was only friends. So if you were able to do that with the friendship label, are you saying you were going for marriage? Why the break off? What didn't you get out of the deal that you needed to break it off after you got some? A couple of times. Why the break off? So I have to
Uh,
wonder, even though one might feel played, is the other move a revenge move? Oh, you led me, you faked me out. Now I'm going to get it. I'm going to steal the water and I'm out. You led me to
right.
the other side of the mountain thinking, oh, there's an oasis over there. Oh, you led me over there. Boom, I'm taking it now and I'm out.
Right.
Is what I ask people. Like, why? So the psychology, what were you thinking? How did that make
Right.
you feel? And then
Right.
what was the behavior? And then if you could do it differently
Exactly.
next time, right? What would you do differently next time? And maybe you need a plan to know what lead looks like and when not to leave.
Right.
When you feel, what did you feel that, damn, she's fine as hell. I was walking behind her and the way her butt jiggled. What is it about her butt?
Right.
It's two cheeks.
But the facts of it, it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. And depending how it's shaped, it might just be one cheek with a little split in it. But anyway, the point is,
right.
what
Right.
what what was it that led? Because again, where was your focus? And so that
Right.
coaching is really coaching you to understand what are your values, what are you spending your mind thinking, what were you
Right.
going to accomplish by having it? I watched a video the other day with the real Precious. The guy said he helped to create 8 babies, 7 to 8 babies, and he doesn't care for near one of them. He told the mothers before they did
Oh
it,
yeah.
"I don't want a child. I don't want a child. If you have one, go to the clinic. I don't want a child. I don't want a child." So again, what was the intent of what were you hoping to get? Anyway, I hope that helps.
Yeah, that I mean, there these issues, and he even said that there was mixed signals that she took him to meet her family, wanted to get a place with him, but then he said that she claimed we were just friends. So I have so many questions, of course, but of like you said, you're gonna have to ask yourself also, like, well, when did she even say that we were just friends? Did she say that?
Hmm.
Um, but there's gonna have to be a lot of inquiry there.
But if
But
but
let
if I'm
go ahead.
allowed to if I'm
Go ahead.
allowed to have that activity with you, what type of friends are we?
Right. Right,
I mean,
and to meet
unless
family and stuff too, but yeah.
right? I mean, unless the question is we did it and then she said we were friends,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's the trick. Like I thought we were going to be, and then oh no, now you got some with just friends. Deuces, I'm out.
Is that someone you want to be with anyway, you
Hmm.
know?
Betrayal. Who's going to betray you? You really went in. You went all in thinking one thing. They're playing.
And he did say too that she's about a few months after divorce, and
She did what?
She had just it sounds like it was about a few months after her divorce. She was with a
That they got together,
narcissist.
that they were friends.
Yeah, that maybe this situation happened.
Oh, all right, narcissist. Let's clarify that for a moment.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, can you please for the internet?
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
Now I'm at Lyrian. So at Lyrian theory on narcissist, it's a first of all, it's a personality disorder. Personality disorder. Personality was flowing this way. Something happened, and the it became the way they cope with it now. The way they cope in life. Usually, on one end, they didn't receive the nurturing love
Mhm.
and care. And it only takes a nanosecond, not a bunch of times. It only takes a nanosecond for someone, school, I raise my hand and the teacher never picks me. Or they're going to one of these times, but they don't pick me. It takes that one time that I did that, and it locks into my brain rejection.
Right.
And no one likes me. It takes that one
Right.
time for me to be eating what's that rocket snow cone thing?
Oh, yeah, Rocket Pop?
Yeah, rocket pop. And then we're about to play relay racing or whatever, and they look at me and be like, "Nah, man, who's next?" And they they go around me, and I feel rejected, and
Mhm.
nobody picked me. So then this order, the coping with rejection is the coping with no one loves me, the coping with Christmas time and you got six gifts and I only got two,
Mhm.
coping with needing to a foster care, but my other brother or sister gets to live with the parents, the coping with mom and dad getting a divorce and I had to go with mom, you got to go with dad, the coping with I only got this amount and you got that amount, the coping with I have to be in the wheelchair and you don't. The coping for that is to love myself. I have to love myself 1,000 times more than anyone
Mhm.
else loves me just to feel normal,
Mhm.
whatever normal is. Just
Right.
feel a perception of normal, I believe, and act out that I have to love myself 100 to 1,000 times more than anyone else, or else I won't feel loved. Coach K, come home and tell me about your day. Or let me ask you about your day. Hey, what's up? How was your day today?
It was great. You want me to ask you how
Yeah,
yours
what
was?
else did you do? What else
That's
did
what
you
I would. How was your day?
do? Well, no, no, I'm serious. I'm asking you about your day because I care about you. Like, what was the highlight of your day?
um, hmm, I don't know. I got a
Oh man,
funny
let's check this
picture.
out. You know what I did? So the thing to highlight of my now,
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
do cut
know.
your
I
face.
didn't
Yeah,
play very good.
no, that's cool. But if you cut your face, like, oh, okay. But I mean, how many times have we dealt with a person who seems narcissistic? Like they make the conversation about them. Like now I'm talking about
Yeah.
my day. I, two
Mhm.
seconds into your conversation, the day is about me and me
Right.
and me and me. And
Right.
the trap. I'm not excusing people who are narcissistic. What I'm saying is we all have that in us. The other day
Right.
when I was talking to a
Right.
person, they said up front, I'm about my money. I'm about my money. Ain't nobody else gonna do for me. Ain't nobody else gonna do for me. Are you narcissistic? No, no, no. But then when we broke it down and when we went into their childhood,
Yeah.
what they remembered most significant was one time when a parent didn't give them the gift that they had hoped to get as a child, and they never ever forgot that. And now, what did they say up front? I'm about that money. Because if I don't get for me, if
And none of
I
you.
don't do for me, just like that parent didn't do for me.
Mhm.
So even though the parenting, I'm not going to say the parenting was bad, but
Right.
that one episode now has been etched into my brain that I was told no. Well, I hear no all the time. I'm not narcissistic. In this case, I was told no and is locked on my brain. And when now I'm about my money, I work 16 hours a day, da 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 da. You act like you never have time. You're a workaholic. Because that one time when I remember not getting, I now have this disorder and I make it
Right.
about me getting,
Right.
me getting. I did it with father one time. I had no idea, was none the wiser. He was sick and I had a job and I'm a workaholic. I don't miss work for any, I don't vacation, I don't do anything. But I went to the hospital to see him.
Mhm.
And I was proud. Not that he was in the hospital, but I was proud. I was like, man,
The media.
I can say that I was there for my dad.
Yeah.
And unannounced to me, when he would say, oh, that's my son, I was like, yeah, I left work. I took off from work. Yep, I'm here. It was from work. I stopped work. I
Oh.
didn't go to work. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I didn't. And it was someone else who brought to my attention, like, wow. And I didn't realize the impact that had on my dad. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I disturbed you. You know, I took you away here. And I didn't know until much later. I'm like, Dad, you don't. It's like, no, I don't want you to have to worry. I'm like, and that went so against my. I'm one of those people. I believe, you took care of the child, and then when the parent gets old, you take care of the parent. So
Yeah.
when you're telling me no, I'm getting frustrated. But I didn't
Right.
know he experienced me making it about me. I took off from work. I took off from work. That's a
He didn't
narcissistic
want to do that again.
behavior.
Yeah.
So anyway, the question is about narcissism. I just wanted to first start with that. Let's break that down.
That's a good, that's a topic that we should probably dig into one of these days, especially to hear
Yes.
because even I have questions. But let's do this one too.
Yeah.
All right, OG Patrice, we got
Oh,
you.
all right. Did
So,
I did we get to the whole question about the narcissist? I just touched on that part. And I know people are
um,
like, are they pushing those likes? Are they pushing the likes?
I know. Let's see. It looks like, yeah, I think so. We have about 19 people in the chat. Thank you everyone for being here. And yeah, we're at 32, so we're doing pretty
Okay.
good.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Keep pressing those likes.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Question. Okay. So I was gonna look for that other one, but I don't see it.
I think it
Uh
was they were just touching on I think Mo was talking about the person that he was with was a narcissist, I think.
okay.
And
And
then
they
there's a
might have been.
question
And,
right.
and who do we
Be-
attract? So we can blame behaviors. We can say they were narcissistic, they were borderline, they were this, they. Why are you attracted? Why are you attracted to them? Uh,
well,
there have to be borderline and narcissistic by themselves. Why are
right.
you attracted to them? Or because they're needy or not like being there for them. Oh, so is it really them or is it you? Why are you with them? Man, all my life. Oh, hint, hint. What did you just say? All my life. Hint,
Right.
hint. That's a pattern. Once is an incident, twice is a coincidence, three times or more is a pattern. Three times or
Exactly.
more is a pattern. Oh, I moved 6 times in one year because all the landlords didn't like me. The one landlord, they
Oh,
didn't want to take cash, man. The landlord didn't want to. You had 6 landlords. What they have a committee meeting about you?
right. What's the common
No.
denominator
Yeah,
here?
right.
Okay, but
No, no, they. But why do you keep getting magnetic? Why are you so magnetically attracted to these issues and type of people?
hmm
And then if
well,
you recognize they're narcissistic, what took you so long to get out?
Trey says he wasn't attracted to a narcissist. The woman he was attracted to was a narcissist.
Yeah, so but if you think about it the way I explained it the Adlerian way, she was a person who didn't feel loved. So she was
Mhm.
trying to be loved 1,000 times more than anyone else loved her. And I'm not
Mhm.
excusing it. I'm just saying it may
Right.
seem like it's always about her because there was a period that she didn't feel it. She didn't receive it. We do it
Right.
for our kids. How many people have kids and say their first birthday, you brought them a $200 pair of shoes?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
they have to have better than I have. They have better than I have. So there was an experience that you had, and
Right.
because of that, you are now boom. There was an experience that you felt neglected, so now you boom. There was a period where you felt you didn't get enough, so now you boom. There was a time you felt your parent didn't do, so now you boom. Because
Mhm.
of that, you now do this. Because somewhere that young lady or whatever that person did not feel loved enough
Right.
Again, not as an excuse. They could have had two parents, 10 parents, a billion parents,
Right.
but it only takes a nanosecond. What if they had a big family, lots of love, cousins and brothers and sisters,
Right.
love, but they felt the squeeze play because little Shaniqua, little Tommy, Billy, everyone
Mhm.
else got their attention. I got attention, but they just took that one nanosecond, the time I didn't get attention, that I felt, wow, it's 10 of us. What if my brother's in the wheelchair? But every day when he gets dressed, he has a person, a parent dressing him, a caretaker to come in the home and dress him. And I think, wow, that must be nice. Mama never spends that much time with me. Papa never spends that time with me. Granddaddy comes over here every day to get him. Man, must be nice. Well, what do you think the brother in the wheelchair is thinking? Damn,
Must be
he can
nice.
walk. He
Must
can
be
walk.
nice.
It must
Right.
be nice. Wow,
Right.
he can walk. And we don't have that conversation. So, unannounced to each other, we are building sibling rivalry without
Right.
even talking to each other. I mean, I smile in his face and he smiles in mine. And there are days that I leave like, whoo, I'm glad I'm not in the wheelchair. But then there are other days like, wow, really? Granddaddy, you came over here in the snowfall. You daddy, granddaddy, you did so and so. Or mama, you have to take him again. Didn't y'all just go to the clinic yesterday? Every day, dude. It must be nice because I can't even get 1 hour with mama. But it
Right.
might not be into mama or granddaddy or somebody or the maid or whoever. It might be when they are no longer available to us. But I lay into you, Coach. Coach K, that's when I finally say, we're discussing maybe the will or something. And I said,
Right.
I'm sure everything was left for you, Coach. I,
Right.
no, I mean, well, hell, you got mama's attention every day. I mean, everything was Coach K. Everything was Coach K. Coach K. What are you talking about? Oh, let me get the wheelchair. Let me get the wheel. I'm in the wheelchair. What are you talking about? Well, whatever it was, wheelchair, chair, whatever, you got all the attention. Dude can walk.
Right.
What are you
Right.
talking about? But we had this big because unannounced to each other, we were having the sibling rivalry over what I perceived you were getting, and you were perceived what I was getting. And the person in the wheelchair is going to feel less than because they're in the wheelchair. So they
Right.
might act out more. You're a brat. You see people at the dinner table,
Mhm.
you know, walk behind them. Oh, you're lucky I was going to push you over.
Well,
I was, why you keep, because dude, you be doing that extra, man. You be doing that extra. Quit playing. You ain't that handicapped. Get out that chair. Quit playing. You're not that handicapped. But that person seems narcissistic. That person seems like they always need attention. They always need this. They always need that. But little did people know they would love I to be you. So subconsciously, they are being extra just to feel normal.
right, and it explains it, and then it does create some understanding. Let's go to this one. Okay, because there's been a lot of this talk about the in the chat. So
Yep.
we have the big house, nice car, big savings. At what point is enough enough, especially if you're losing your marriage?
Mm. Hold on. I'm gonna let you tackle that. Let me look at something real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
I know. Okay.
So we have the big house, nice car. I would wonder losing your marriage. So when did this start? Because I'm going to guess that this did not happen overnight. Um, what were we getting these things because that's, maybe neglecting each other, neglecting the issues that were there in order to get these things? Were we maybe basing our value and our happiness because of these things? Always at, like you were saying, with the certifications and the licensures, all the more people do that with trying to seek satisfaction from these things.
Mm-hmm.
But oh yeah, we also have um there's a lot of good questions here. But I would say, so we have all this, but I would say, what is enough. That's this is gonna be cliche, but you have to decide, because our if you're neglecting, let's say, because I'm thinking about the kid situation where the kid's like, mom, will you stay home? But
Mm-hmm.
is so if we'd have to look at our income and things like that, and if we can, and be honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
can you pay for this? Do we need this? what are our reasons?
Hmm.
What is it going to take to get these things? What are we going to have to sacrifice? Is
Right.
it worth it? That's kind of
Right.
how I would want to approach it.
Yep.
But you tell
But
me.
if I'm your husband,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about not only my upbringing, my parents' upbringing, and the parents before them. All my
Oh,
clients, I tell to go back 2 generations.
oh, Lordy.
What
Yeah.
was great? What was great grandpa like? What was grandpa like? And what
Yeah.
are you like? If I grew up in a home where dad was super responsible and I was in awe of dad,
Mm-hmm.
but what's every generation say to the next? I want to have better.
Yeah.
And what do we say
Yeah.
to our kids? I want you to have better.
Yeah. I heard that
So,
all growing
right?
up. Yeah.
So if my dad had a car, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm better if I have 2 cars.
Mm-hmm.
If dad barely made ends meet, I'm going to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about inadequacy, I go into this
Mm-hmm.
relationship with you, and it might be enough, but I've always wanted you to have more than enough.
Right.
And pending your response, if you're like, cool, that didn't get the. And when you say, oh my gosh, dude, you're doing too much. No, understand, I'm not doing enough. I'm actually failing you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a community leader. I'm a this program, so and so. I do this and I have that. We have the money we have, but then I need to maintain that. A lot of people get all these things, but are they really saving? I get your nails done every week. When can I really afford, not money wise, when do we stop that? If I stop a week, you didn't get your nails done. Even though you're like,
Right.
no, dude, let me just let them grow. No, you need to get them done.
Right.
So if I'm saying, no, we need this and we need that, and I'm dealing with inadequacy is never enough. In
Mm-hmm.
our romance, I'm like, can we try this position? You're like, okay. And then it's this, and then it's that, and then it's this, and then it's that. So if you've provided for me and I don't feel any real sense of value, like in self, then the only
Right.
way I can pay you back by doing for me, because I feel guilty that you cook, clean, laundry, uh, presentable, lay for me, bear children. You do 10 things before we even think about you. We have a long day and I come home, you still rub my head, you still take care of
Mm-hmm.
me, you help me. And if I don't feel I offer you the value, then it might be through gift giving. Give,
Right.
give, give. And that's my value. I don't feel like I can
Right.
give you anything eternally value. So we have the house, we have the car, we have the money, we have this, but it's not enough. If I have fear of death, people who grieve, there are some people who have not grieved correctly. The fear of
Mm-hmm.
dying and leaving you behind with nothing, the fear of dying and not having a legacy, the fear of dying and not being able to say you earned anything or did anything, the fear of
Mm-hmm.
losing and being gone one day. I have to keep getting because you never know, you never know, you never know.
And when does that become enough?
Right. When
Right.
is it? Even we set goals. But why is it that a millionaire becomes a millionaire and then they don't have enough money? A billionaire becomes a billionaire and then they're bankrupt in 5 years. How is that? We forget every time we get a level of money, we also raise our level of living. I mean, you get a good handful that are millionaires, but they stay in the hood or they stay, they drive a Yugo. You
Mm-hmm.
have those, but
Mm-hmm.
most times we earn the extra money and we raise our life standards. So really, we're still back to square one. I make
Right.
60,000 now. I have a lifestyle of 60,000. I have to make more than 70,000. 70,000. I know guys that pay child support and they have to pay, let's say, an extra 15,000. So they tell themselves in order to make 15,000, they have to get another job to make the 15,000. But then when they get the job and they make the 15,000, the courts say, "Oh, good, now you're making 45,000." Oh, no, I'm not. No, yes, you are. And now you can pay 2,000. No. So then they have to figure out how can I $2,000. So then they get another job, or they add more hours, or they add more hustle to get the extra $2,000. And then the court say, "Oh, good, you make the extra." No, I don't make all this money because they don't
Right.
understand. They keep saying, "I'm going to go make. I'm going to go make. I'm going to go make," and the courts keep saying, "Oh, good job. Keep, since you're making it. Since you're making it."
Right. Now you're gonna be paying more.
Yeah,
And
it's just
that's
saying that.
interesting.
Yeah, but they don't
It's
teach. People don't
eh,
learn that. They just say you have to make the money. Judges sit there and say, "I don't care what you do." Oh, you judge. My doctor said I had 2 heart attacks. I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, you've been making the payments all this time.
well, right. And then people might say, well, how much does it cost to raise a child? And that's a whole nother conversation. Again, but these are good. By the way, Lil Podcast asked for your email. Do you want to tell him where to find you or to, I don't know,
Yeah,
what you want to,
yes. Let's uh
I'm
so
surprised
Dr.
you're so
Dr.
busy.
Nakumbi, Nakumbe at Gmail. And please forgive me. I've been used to seeing people in the office before all this fancy social media. So I'm
I
just live.
know.
You see me on Psychology Today. Boom, people come in. So I
Yeah.
do have a channel. It'll be Dr. Nakumbi. It'll be the Yahoo
Oh,
channel. But I mean, there's nothing on it. But I'm going to start. And then
okay.
my Facebook, I give a lot of these inspirational quotes and real relationship talk. It's called "Let's Get at It." Let's get at it. Let's talk about it. Let's get at it. So let's LETSGET at it.com, which goes right into the Facebook page. Let's get at it. But yes, go to my website if you want, Dr. Nakumbi, drnakumbi.com. There's a sign up page there, or you can email me, drnakumbi at gmail, and we can talk there. And I do different levels of offering, so I do coaching. I really want to help couples move forward. But some can't move forward without first figuring out what happened. So I do what's
Mhm.
called the relationship relief experience, where we do a root analysis. This person here
Mm.
and this person here, and we're going to see. Oh, you were a plum. You were raised as a plum, and did you know you were raised as an apple? You didn't know that.
Right.
You didn't know that. Yeah, at the roots, you have a plum seed and you have an apple seed. And that's why maybe some of this is going on. Oh, you're an
Right.
apple, you're an apple, but you're a Washington apple and you're a green apple. You
Yeah.
didn't know that. So I do root analysis to help you figure out what's going on and then even help you figure out if you should be together, like if you should even stay. A lot of people,
Oh.
coach, you wear jewelry or anything? What do
Not
you wear?
really.
Okay.
I have my ring and then like earrings, but I don't really wear
Okay.
much
Let's go
jewelry.
with that. Let's go with that. When I met you and I said, I like you plain,
Mhm.
my give back is jewelry. When I met you, I like you plain.
Okay.
My give back, gifts and all that, the ring,
Yeah.
earrings, help you look
Yeah.
pretty, feel pretty and valuable, and necklaces.
Yeah.
Now I feel some kind of way about the jewelry. I never liked that jewelry, but you wanted me to, but I've never liked jewelry. What I liked was the smile you got on your face when you got a gift. I never
Mm.
liked jewelry. So when we get in the session and I do a root analysis, I say, you've never liked jewelry. Well, but they said, but you've never liked jewelry. Well, she always smiles when I give, but you never liked jewelry.
Right.
And so as you grow through the relationship, now she's saying, hey, I don't want less than what you offered. I mean, you don't have to doll me up. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you offered. Keep your word, man.
Right. Right.
So now when like, oh, I never liked it and I never wanted it and I never, you sure are you two going to be able to maintain this? For better and for worse, through sickness and in health. There are some couples who get married while the person's on the deathbed or at the hospital. I'm going to go with the majority of people are happy. I love you. Let's do it. Let's get
Right.
married. I love you through sickness and in health. Probably the nastiest thing we've done is get wild in the bedroom. That's probably the
Right.
nastiest thing we've done. You start vomiting all over. You have blood coming out of you. I could barely handle it. Ooh, quick. No, see me in a week.
Right.
But now you have blood coming out of your nose. You're vomiting. You lost weight. You used to be this, and now you're this. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up for sickness and health, but I didn't know it was going to come with vomit, blood, weight loss. You can't walk. I got to wipe your butt.
Right.
On a hot, horny night, playing with your butt is one thing, but having to wipe because there's poop all over the place.
Right.
And I see you as an adult. I don't see you as a baby that needs help. I see you as this adult. I didn't sign up for that. Let's not go so extreme. Let's not go so extreme. You're healthy. I'm healthy. You never told me you were an alcoholic. I thought you just drink occasionally. I met you while you were already struggling with it, but you hid that part from me. Hmm. You had mental illness. When were you going to tell me? That's a tough question. When do I tell my I've met a person? When do I tell them I have mental illness? But our world says we have to do our best. I don't know if I can ever tell you I have mental illness because I might lose you through
Right.
sickness and in health. So therefore, when I work with couples, now that you know they have mental illness and you didn't sign up for it, are you willing to stay? So not every couple I work with stays together. Cheaters are my number one couples to work with. Cheaters. You want to talk about breaking the chain? You have to understand who you are with. Who you are with. It's crazy because you hear me. I'll say this. I'm in front of the entire world. I like to think I'm not jealous,
Mhm.
but I am highly sensitive.
Mhm.
I'm not jealous, but I am highly sensitive. If my woman's dream man is 6'7", I'm 5'9" in the morning. When we see the 6'7" man, don't look at him. Hibbity, hibbity. Oh, but that's her dream dude.
Right.
But my point is, we get so consumed on what we might lose, what we might lose. So is it really the person or is there attachment to loss? Is there an attachment to loss? I finally get the finest woman out there.
Mhm.
I finally get the finest, and I can't lose her. I'll never get another fine one.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm working with couples, I guess the only question was, how do you contact me? Sometimes when I work with couples,
It's still
we look
good. It's
at
all good.
the reality of you being able to stay together. Or they say equally yoked. Are you able to stay together? Because some people trauma bond. The true definition of trauma bond is not get together. True definition of trauma bond is it's actually a bad. It's almost like what they call gaslighting. The true definition of trauma bond is not what people say. Okay, but let's
Yeah.
use that term, trauma bond. I met you at the bar. What's
Mhm.
up, coach? Oh, nothing. Just broke up from this. Really? Dang, me too. Swear to goodness. And why'd you break up with yours? Now you're about to feed me the information that I'm going to use against you, by the way. Well, and da da da, and they cheated on me. Dang, coach, I would never cheat on you. Really? Yeah, man, I'm
Right.
serious, serious.
Right.
They just spend Christmas. What? How do you miss Christmas with you? Well, why? What happened to you? I don't know. I was misunderstood. Really? You seem to understand things, and you seem not. Oh,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
then tick, 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 tick.
Exactly.
All right. Where are we at? Where are we at about?
So we
Maybe,
have
maybe,
about we have
yeah.
we about 10 minutes left, but
All right.
Mandrell did ask, and I think these are
Other
all
man,
such.
Joe, what's up?
I know. I think next probably. I mean, me and Dr. Nakumbi will talk about, upcoming shows and like dropping the links and stuff like that. But it's all these questions are great. And I would say email. I think Black Man told me to do this last time or one of the shows we had about email him any like topic ideas you want. Of course, you can always reach out to us too, but
Yes. Coach
just to
K, how
keep
did
it
they get a
organized.
hold of you? I know you've been
Oh,
with the
yeah.
information, but how did they get a hold of you?
Oh, you can contact me through my website at www.coachkr.com. My email is just katie@coachkr.com. I don't have a YouTube channel. You can find it. People have subscribed
Yeah.
to me, but I haven't made any things. But
Okay.
eventually I will.
All right. So you have a
But
website and email. We're
mhm.
here every Thursday. Keep those likes coming. Come on, keep those likes coming. We're here every Thursday.
Yes.
We had a final question for Mandrell. I don't know if we'll get to it because we also need to get into final thoughts. But what's the question for Brother
Y-
Mandrell?
yeah, so he says, "Please explain what steps do you take to change a habit or behavior?"
That's a good one, Coach. You help with
No,
changing behaviors, right? No,
well,
no.
I do, but I wanna hear you. I wanna hear you say you
I'm
go
here every
first.
Thursday. You can hear. Come on, let's hear what would you
Um,
offer?
so, what people don't wanna hear is it's gonna be slow. It's going to be
Mm,
incremental. I don't think it depends how long you've been doing it also, because like you were mentioning earlier, kind of like the neural pathways. If you've been
mhm,
doing something for a long time, your brain is really good at doing it at this point. Like it's that muscle memory, right? Um, but I would say first it's going to be awareness. And if you're doing something, when you're doing it, why you're doing it, if it's something like eating, maybe, like we were talking about earlier, are you doing that as somewhat of a buffer? You know, if
mhm,
you're, sometimes we have what we call is like thought errors, like, oh, I deserve it. I've had such a long day. We want to be
mhm,
aware of those types of things. Um, and some people will say too that it's like 30 days or 60 days to create a habit. I have heard it depends what it is. But if is are we quitting a bad habit or are we trying to pick up a new one?
right.
You know, those types of things. So
Mhm,
I would say first the awareness, and then I would want to know the underlying stuff, like why you're doing what you're doing. And or maybe why you want to pick up this new habit or behavior, and it's going to be incremental steps, I would say. And also um kind of stepping into that identity too. So if you want to run a marathon, maybe it's just putting on your shoes every day.
mhm, mhm,
Then you are creating that evidence that, this is who I am, I'm becoming a runner. But
mhm,
it's feasible, and then you slowly build up over time. So even if it's like studying or reading a book, whatever, maybe 5 pages tonight. If it's hard for you, and
mhm,
then you'll
mhm,
build up. But kind
mhm,
of, it just depends what it is. You know what I mean?
mhm.
What do you have, Doc?
Yep. I say, what is it rooted to? What is it connected to? What is the behavior connected to?
Oh, yeah.
Where is it getting its power from? Where is it getting? Because I can replace this behavior,
Right.
right?
Don't
I
want to
can
do
replace
that.
it,
No, no, no. Don't want to do that.
but guess what? It's still connected to the same
Right.
problem. It's still
Right.
connected to the same problem. So eventually, this is going to be an issue, and I change the behavior, but it's still connected to the same problem.
Like
So,
food and alcohol, let's say, or like even if it's
yes.
something like a healthy thing, be
Mhm.
careful though what it's connected to. But go on, go
Yes.
on.
So the coping, like, why am I coping with food? Why am I coping with alcohol?
Mhm.
Um, men, both, all genders self-soothe.
Mm,
They get into habits. Can't go to bed unless they can't start the man unless they. It's a
right.
habit. And they say, I want to change that behavior. But why? The ones who do it in the morning, a lot of times they don't even know doing that because they're about to go to work.
Right.
The imposter syndrome, like, oh, work, like work, the psychology behind doing the job to start their day, they think they want to entertain themselves to feel good. But that feel good is to prep for the psychological warfare that they have
Mhm.
to sit at home in your car before going in the house. You need to stop that. You need to come in the house. You need to come in the house. But what is that? There's something psychological warfare about going into the house.
Right.
So what is behavior connected to?
Right.
because you can change the behavior, but you're going back to it because you haven't addressed what it's attached to you, or what it's attached to.
Right. The
Kind of
cause.
dating, but I don't want to be alone. I'm not going to call it dating, but I do want to address not being alone.
Right.
I don't want to eat ice cream anymore. I'm going to stop eating ice cream at night. Stop eating it at night. Stop eating it at night. And I do good for a while, only to notice I'm not eating ice cream at night anymore, but I am having a Snickers bar every night. So some people just transfer, they just transfer the thing that
Mm-hmm.
they're doing. So to change a behavior, you have to first look at what it's doing for you. Because remember, the brain might not let you change because it's been benefiting us. Why would you stop that? It's been so you might be having an internal battle over one behavior because
Right.
part of you says you got to do it, it feels good, and the other part of you says, yeah, but I'm tired of the consequences. Drinking the alcohol tastes good, but your fourth DWI. How do I stop drinking? And the insurance, excuse me, the treatment places and all that, they make $1 billion because you will stop drinking, become sober, get quality rest while in patient treatment, and go right back home to the same problems. Go right back home
Exactly.
to your same feelings of inadequacy, not good enough, shame, mental health, blah, 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 blah. And eventually the brain says, let's just have a drink. Boom. I hope that answers. We can definitely do
Yeah.
more next week. All right.
Yeah. So
Final
we got
thought.
to we definitely gotta end it here. This is just a great show. We touched on so many different things. I mean, I just can't wait for next time. I mean, this is all so good. Definitely thank you all for coming. And just all your questions and just being here and supporting Black Man Unfiltered Network. And then what do you have? Because we got to wrap it up. I see Black David in the back telling us we got to wrap it up.
Okay, cool. Let's wrap it up. Thank you so very much for being here. Again, press those likes, support the channel. Thank you so much. Black Man Unfiltered, thank you for the opportunity. Please check out his channel for what other shows are coming up, and or watch other shows that were already played. Thank you. Think of
Mm-hmm.
questions that we might be able to help you with, both from a therapeutic version. We won't be doing therapy, but we can give you some clinical perspectives as well as coaching, helping you figure out what those next moves are. Take care of
Yes.
yourselves. Be
Yep.
well.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Okay.